Hey everyone, it's Jennifer Jones, and I am here with the amazing Courtney Carroll.
And Eric Jacobson.
Yeah. Now, Eric, you run the Realtor Collective,
Yes.
right? And you have a couple different offices. So you want to sort of explain?
Yeah, we have a couple of different offices. We basically work out of North Toronto, and then also a little bit further we go up into Brock, all around the east side of Lake Simcoe, York, and Durham.
Amazing. That's so cool. And you have a team, right?
We have a team of 8 agents, 8 active agents full time, and they're amazing.
Yeah, that's so great.
Yeah.
And so you had this abundance of leads.
We did. We have been generating leads for a number of years now, and we have a lot of them that have basically fallen down where we haven't had a great experience sort of trying to rehash them and get them going again. So we're trying to do that.
And I think that's fairly normal with teams, as Courtney knows.
Yeah.
And we'll get into what Courtney does and what the solution has been. But what we found is that, we have this abundance of leads. Agents get busy doing other things,
right.
And they stop calling these leads. So you as an agent, usually, especially if you're a team or you're a high producer, at some point you probably paid for leads and they're sitting there and gathering dust, right?
The dusty leads. Yeah. We call them the dusty leads.
Dusty leads. So, Courtney, do you want to explain what it is that ISA Today and CallAll.ai is, and sort of how we've been helping Eric and his team, turn those old dusty leads into gold?
Yeah, for sure. So we're a turnkey inside sales department, essentially. We find the value, right? Like the big price is buying those leads initially, and we know people move every 7 to 10 years. So kind of regardless of how old they are, the fact that you've already paid for the contact information, you don't necessarily need to be going out and buying more leads. That's not the problem once you have all that information. So we have our, proven series, contact information, our proven contact processes that have been working for us for the last 8 or 9 years. And we have our ISAs who make all the phone calls. They call through essentially A to Z of the list. And then follow up also, we have text messages, emails, and then there is our AI component, which is an option. And we're just calling through and seeing where the database is as far as their buying process.
Okay. Yeah. It's been a great experience so far. I mean, I think we transferred quite a few thousand, quote unquote, dusty leads, and you've revived them, and we've got, 30 or 40 new revised leads that we're reaching out to right now. So we thank you for it.
Yeah, that's actually, yours has been a really great database. And that's where it's proven. It's you have the contact information. Understandably, agents and teams, you get busy, or you try them for a few tries, and then just from a capacity aspect, you can't continuously be calling 3,000 or 4,000 leads. So agents tend to focus on those fresh ones. What's great is we have that ability to have our ISAs calling through that and booking appointments.
Now, Courtney, I love numbers. I know you do too, and I know you do. So let's talk about that. So you've been with ISA Today now for a month, so it's been about 30 days.
Yeah.
So how many appointments, what kind of other cleanup have you done in there? Have you found anyone that's already bought as well through that process?
Right. Let's go through another team because I don't want Eric to feel sad right now. We'll go through another team's database, and in our first month, so we've been calling them for a few months, but in our first month of calling their old dusty leads, we found 85 that had purchased already, which is heartbreaking.
Wow.
So that's not you, Eric. Don't worry. So that was we found 85 that had already purchased homes, within the last 12 to 18 months. Because again, if it was 5 or 6 years ago, they kind of just go to the bottom of the list to get touched again. Hundreds of bad phone numbers, a few do not contacts. But about 260, I think, that were warm leads that will be now put into a nurture plan for us to circle back pretty soon. And then 39 appointments. So that was in their first 30 days of us calling their database.
And I think we figured out with that one, because they're in the Vancouver area, that was 3.5 million in potential deals that were lost to that particular team,
Yeah,
right?
that
And it
was,
hurts.
yeah.
So it sounds like people need to reach out to you and to quicker, because this
It
does
is.
happen, right? So you
Yeah.
have to make sure to be on them. And ISA today is doing a great job at reaching out to everybody. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you, Eric. It's just
yeah,
timing and numbers. And so, yeah, like once you start that process and getting them called, it's just a matter of finding the people who are looking to buy right now, or in the next 3 to 6 months, which is, the juicy timeline. And then just putting a system together for nurturing the other ones. I think the big one too is like teams or agents, when you have a giant database that probably feel a little guilty that you've bought in the past and you haven't necessarily nurtured it, but it can also be overwhelming, as in, like, where do I start? And, based on busy schedules, even trying to do 50 or 100 calls in a day is challenging. So trying to get through 4,000, it's relentless. So that's also, it's really great. So we do, that package. And then at the end, if for whatever reason you stopped, at least your database is now cleaned up. We can be like, they've bought, they were kind of interested, they told us to F off. But now you don't have to do that. And it's like 5,000 leads might actually only be about 400 that, would be a lot more manageable for you.
that's fantastic. Well, thank you. It's been great. Actually, it's been
Yeah.
a great experience. We're, like you said, we're sifting through the leads, reenacting people that one person we actually have a showing schedule that I haven't spoken to him in 4 years.
Oh,
So it's just reviving leads that we as realtors, we tend to get busy and then we forget about the people we should be contacting.
sure, yeah. And it's been a weird few years. So I think like COVID and all those things, like people who were maybe thinking about moving, if they didn't, it's
Mhm.
like it's kind of a lucky time, right? Because a lot of people put their plans on hold for a while, and now we get to come in and pick them up when they're ready.
And I was going to say too, so for those realtors out there, and you're thinking to yourself, well, I can do this myself, for all these leads I have. That's awesome. Let me
Yeah,
ask you a question. How come you haven't till,
right.
today? We're
Right.
here now. So
Yeah,
what's going to change that is actually going to have you dialing those leads as of tomorrow?
for
So
sure.
that's what we found running this top team. We're always in the top 10 on the Toronto Real Estate Board. Running this top team, that's been the challenge, is getting agents to actually call. It is a tough thing to do. No one likes rejection.
It's very hard. It's the hardest thing to do in this business, actually.
Mentally tough. And
Well,
so,
you just
Courtney, how many dials did you make last year
yeah,
on
I
your
made a
own?
lot. Yeah,
50,
just over 52,000, which is kind of my
52,000.
number, but
And how long have you been doing this with me? So you've been my inside sales managing partner and now partner in this business, right?
yeah,
So how long has that been?
I think it's 8 or 9 years, maybe eight and a
Nine,
half years. Yeah,
9 years. Yeah, 9 years.
yeah,
And
yeah.
this is what I've learned. So no one else has Courtney's ability to dial. Okay. And Courtney dials all the time.
Yeah,
Courtney can be driving her kids to school. Courtney can be at their swim
well,
practice, at their golf. She could be, folding laundry, making dinner, shopping. Courtney's on the phone all the time. And
yeah.
one of the funny stories is Courtney has basically figured out what her cost, what her pay would be per call.
Yes.
So I always tell the story of Courtney and her girls like driving past a Starbucks, and her girls are like, "Hey, mom, I want that really cool, frappuccino strawberry with mocha with whip on top." And
Yeah.
Court's like, "I'm not." So you want to explain that, because I think that's the coolest thing.
Yeah, because I'm pretty frugal too. So it's like, no, like you're 9, you don't need a frappuccino. So then the deal is that it's like, they mock me. It's like it's only a few calls. So we pull over in the parking lot and I'll load up like 10 phone numbers. Because it works out to about $4. It used to be 5. God bless this change of market. So it's $4 a call, and we'll load up 10 phone numbers, and I'll call through them. If they answer, they need to sit there and listen. And if they don't answer, it doesn't really change because it's just numbers at the end of the year. I know that it always works out, and then we can go through the drive-through. So they're working for it.
Yeah, they have to wait.
Right? And something interesting too. So we created the gcicalculator.com, right?
Yeah,
That's under all.ai.
yep.
Now, okay, so if we go back to let's go back to pre 2020. Okay.
Okay.
So on average, how many dials would it take you to book an appointment?
Well, so it was 800 calls for a deal. So that was
200 then,
probably
right?
like 200 and now you're looking at like 300 or 400
Right.
for an appointment, and like that 1,500 is kind of the number for a deal. So that's a lot. Throw in an agent making 50 calls a day, that's 30 working days. Throw in our ISA system and it's like 2 weeks,
Right.
a week, depending on if you're doing a full-time or a part-time package. And I think like there's all those calculators. So GCI calculator is great for figuring out if you have a database that's existing with a value of it annually. That's on there, as well as like how much you would need to make and how many deals you need to do. But I think I don't know where I was going with this. The big
The other calculator.
Yeah, and then like the other one is like, how much are you making an hour being an active agent? So if you can outsource to our ISA system for like $20 an hour, $25 an hour, it's like, well, as a real estate agent, you should be making dramatically more than that, right? So this might not be the best use of your time. The best use of your time as an agent is building the rapport and allow us to like get the database to the point that it's an actual lead who wants to have a conversation with you, and then you can just spend your time on the rapport, not the mindless dialing time, which I love, but not everybody does, because agents love talking with people and interacting. So
Well,
I'd let you do that.
there's a metric I always liked, which is I think it goes up exponentially after the seventh call, that your chance of actually getting someone. And I think it's between 7 and 12 where you have
Yeah.
the greatest chance of getting someone on the phone. Most agents never hit that seventh call.
No, they
They
give
hit
up.
about two, maybe three, and they're done.
It's like
If
75
that.
give up after 2 calls. And I think you're right. I think it's like 9 calls is where like 95% of leads are going to get. I mean, we have some that like people should have like restraining orders. Some of those agents, some of those leads in the Jennifer Jones team database, like they should be, anyways. But
Yeah, that's a whole other conversation than restraining orders. So the other neat thing that we added and layered in was our AI agent. So that is an AI agent. He kind of sounds like Italian mafia. And he dials, so we can put him in and actually dial in the leads where nothing's turning up. And then, of course, the AI chatbots now, right?
Yeah, so we have both of those that we can layer in. We like to put the AI in after we've allowed the human to call through the database the first time, and that's just from like the client, like from the agent side, to save money on that. Just the talk time is a little more, so it's better to have the human clean up the database first and get rid of all those bad numbers and things like that, and then give the AI a good pure database.
Now,
yeah, that's a great option.
I was going to say, what for you, Eric, like what would be the advantage to using ISA today where Courtney, let's say, like Courtney is, hiring, managing with Sarah Park, who's also licensed, like our office person. What's the advantage to having ISA today do it versus some other company that's out there, let's say?
I think it has a lot to do with the personal element of your ISAs. It's all about getting people engaged on the phone, right? So I think that ISA today does an incredible job of sort of converting people, right? Anybody can call, but it's also there's got to be some skills in converting. So I think that that's one of the huge benefits of ISA today calling over another company. Is the personal element and the friendliness that goes with the conversations and the conversion rate. At the end of the day, it's all about the conversion rate.
Yeah. And I would say too, like understanding we've already been doing this, Courtney and myself, for let's say 9 years in an inside sales department. Right. So Courtney has figured out the systems and processes that need to be in place like all those measures, the metrics, the literally, like we have so many different workflows on the back end of this thing, right? Through Go High Level.
That helps with the conversion, I guess.
Yeah.
So I think like having someone with that level of experience that has literally not gone out as a realtor in 9 years. Courtney is making an incredible living. She produced $1 million in gross commission income to our team last year. Okay. So without leaving and having to actually go out on showing. So that's the other thing. If you're an agent out there and you don't want to be going out, you have small kids at home like Courtney did. Do you want to touch into sort of why you did this in the first place, Court?
Yeah.
I mean, other than the fact, like, let me just add that piece before, which is I went down to family reunion. We were with Keller Williams at the time, right? Great company. And down there, we didn't have a lot of big teams up here. I don't know if you remember, but like going back, it would be 10, let's say 10 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. So there weren't a lot of big teams. I didn't have anyone to kind of like, I don't know, model ourselves after, right? So being down there, I was looking at all these big teams and they said, you need an inside sales agent. I'm like, what the heck is an inside sales agent? So they explain it. And all I do is I go, thank you, Lord, for sending me an incredible inside sales agent that will dial for me. I know it's coming. I'm so grateful, right? Just like that. And literally a week later, Courtney calls me. Wow. No joke.
I got the message. Yeah.
She got it.
I got the message.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. It's difficult. We've tried to build the ISA departments internally in the past, and it's very difficult to do. It's very difficult to manage people. It's difficult to keep the drive going, to continuously call people through the mud and through the hardships,
right?
To get through to the right people in that database. And ultimately, we haven't been able to do it until we met up with you, and until you've kind of agreed to help us. And now we are. We're loving it. Actually, it's fantastic. It's not for everybody to try and build out themselves. Honestly, very, very difficult to do. So I would say that you're better off to leverage somebody that has the experience and knows how to do it.
Yeah, and I think even for you, like, so okay, so let's say how many deals for Eric's group in 30 days?
It's like around 30 appointments so far.
So basically, you're going to run into a place here where, based on what ISA Today is doing for you, the number of leads coming in within the next couple of months is going to get so
it'll
high.
Overwhelm us. Yeah, it'll overwhelm us. We'll need to be bringing in more people to help service this lead flow.
Right. So basically, if you're an agent out there and you're thinking, I don't have enough business, and I'm in that York region, Toronto North area, even up into the Brock area, you want to be reaching out to Eric and his group Realtor Collective, because they're going to have an abundance of leads based on being with this program over the next couple of months. And if you're a new agent, you definitely want to reach out, because you want to get in and have that knowledge base, start to develop those skills, so that once he's ready to go and they're ready to go, handing you all of this business, that you're actually set up. Right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So super exciting. Well, thanks so much for having this conversation today, guys. Courtney, do you want to add anything else before we log off?
No, I should just do it. Just do it. Look us up. Call us.
Yeah. Everything is Nike with Courtney, by the way. Everything's just do it. So I guess one last thing would be, Courtney, if they want to get a hold of you, how do they get a hold of you on socials?
I think I know. On Instagram, it's at ISA_today_. And it didn't sound very confident, but that is what it is.
No, you did. Yeah.
So just find us there. And then we have I still think like the turnkey package is the best package, because that's where we hire, train, we manage them, we do daily role playing with them. We have we handle everything and essentially just send you messages with booked appointments. And we have launched the part-time program because we've had some smaller teams who are interested. So there is a part-time and a full-time option. And like the price is like way less than a deal a year commission. So it's kind of a no
$11.99, guys,
for the
for
part-time
a
one.
part-time,
Yeah,
which is like 10 to 15 hours of dialing a lead.
that includes their dial wages as well. And it's, I don't know, I was thinking it the other day, it's like parenting with, like, you don't know until it's too late if what you're doing is wrong. And that's like with online leads. And what's so great is, like, you know, we've already been doing this for 8 or 9 years. So it's just like this system that we know works. So we don't have to think, do the leads suck? Is it, you know, it's a more controlled environment. We're just taking what you have, putting in what we already have, putting the people who use the scripts that we know have been working for the last 8 or 9 years, and just converting. It's easy peasy.
Yeah, I love it. And what about you, Eric? What's your contact information?
My contact information is, you can always reach me at eric@realtorscollective.com. And that's basically, if anybody has trouble finding Courtney's information, we'll pass it over to you.
We're looking for
Make sure that you know, she's in touch with you, because this really is a life-changing kind of thing. It's very, very hard to call through you know, loads of leads. People get lead burnout. Lead burnout's a real thing. And after you call 5-10 people, you just don't want to do it, you know, for 2 hours. So, you know, you need help. I know that pretty much everybody needs help in this industry. It's not going to be easy for anybody. So you need a team like ISA Today and Courtney Carroll to make it happen for you.
Absolutely. And the last thing I would say is, like, who is this for? Again, this service is for either you're a producer where you've run leads and you are not calling into that database you already have, or a team, same problem, even a brokerage. If you have a whole bunch of leads that are sitting there in that database and you have agents in your brokerage that haven't been calling, we can get you hooked up, so that will actually translate into gold, right? Yeah. And the truth is, if you think you're going to change things, you have to ask yourself the question, if I don't do anything different tomorrow, how is this going to be the same? If you've been making that commitment to go ahead and make the dials and you haven't, the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior, guys. It's past behavior. So what I would say to you is this: let us book you appointments. Let us put cash in your bank account, right? This is the way to do it. So super excited. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Revive those leads, people.
Yeah. Right?
That's right. Get on them.
CPR. Courtney loves it when we play act together, don't you, Courtney?
Yes.
See the cackle? Yes, it's cackling. Okay, guys. Thank you. And we will see you later.
See ya.
Okay, just stay on.